Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I am your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
Oh God. Oh. I missed the cup. Oh my goodness. There's wine everywhere. It's okay. We're just gonna work with this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a gorgeous cup of Whitehaven from Marlborough, New Zealand, Sauvignon Blanc, and we got some comics we need to talk about tonight, Joe.
Yeah, we got a couple of comics that we need discussing. So, without any further ado, let's hop into them, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so really we only have two that we're going to be talking about. So I'll kick us off with Wonder Woman number 775, which I feel like I'm talking about this book every goddamn week because I think it's a bi-monthly book. Like, it comes out twice a month, which I didn't realize at first, or they've, like, shifted its schedule so that it's coming out more. I don't know. Whatever it is, we're getting a lot of this Wonder Woman book. But, so if you remember from last time, Diana had come out of the Norse realm and back into the Greek realm, and then Janice, or Giannis, whatever the fuck it is, turned out to, like, split and become a fine dude and then a not-so-fine gal who was kind of going around killing all the gods in Olympus. And so Diana went to the Graveyard of the Gods with Boston Brand and Ratatosk to try and revitalize them. So that's where this issue picks up. And Diana meets the Keeper of the Grounds, which was that really cool figure that I think I mentioned the last time, who was, like, wearing the friggin', like, witch doctor mask thing, and he's got, like, the staff with the lantern on it and the big cloak, and I was like, whoa, this character design is really cool. Despite the art in this book, which I think is not really cool. So real quick side tangent. Normally, I think Travis Moore was the artist of the first 4 issues that took place in the Norse realm. Now that we're in the Greek realm, it's done by, I forget his first name, but his last name is MacDonald. And I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of his artwork. It's very, it's not clean, and it's not really that great style-wise. I'm just very not, I don't, me no likey is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, the story of it is still kind of intriguing. I gotta say, after they left the Norse realm, my interest has been dropping a little bit, but it gets picked up at the end, which I will get to in a second. So, in this story, Diana meets up with the Keeper of the Grounds and riddles him into submission. And by that, I mean they have, like, a riddle-off because, you know, that's just something in mythology that characters really like to do. Diana's like, hey, I need to rescue the gods, and the guy's like, nah, they're dead, they gotta stay here, and she's like, but we're gonna leave, and he's like, no, you can't leave, you're also here, you can't fucking leave here, and she's like, what if I, like, riddled you? And he's like, oh, I love a good game of riddles. And so they have their witty back and forth banter, and then Diana, of course, beats him, as all heroes in their mythology stories do, and he's like, all right, but one of you has to stay behind, I need payment, and none of you have a coin. And Boston Brand's like, yeah, I left my purse in the realm of the living, sorry, that's true, you gotta leave someone here. And so Diana chooses to leave the god Chaos behind and let all the others get revitalized. What this means going forward, I don't know. I'm not familiar with Chaos as a Greek god, if that is an actual Greek thing, or if that is a DC Comics thing. I don't fucking know. But I'm sure that'll have some sort of ramifications going forward. So Wonder Woman bounces out of there. She talks with some of the gods, and all the gods are kind of just like, hey, so you gotta go find Janice or Giannis and bring them back, because they're kind of fucking shit up, and they have the God Scraper, which Hephaestus made, and Hephaestus also wants that back, because Hephaestus is the Mount Doom to the God Scraper as the power, or the Ring of Power. He's the only one that can destroy it. Why? Plot, I guess. I don't know. Also, Hephaestus in this book looks so goddamn similar to Hellboy, it's distracting. Like, he's got the same square face, and he's got a pair of goggles on his forehead that mimic the chopped off horns so well. I can't fucking unsee it, and it bothers me so much. But that's like another, like, little weird aside thing. But so Diana's just like, all right, I've got my mission. I need to go off and find Janice or Giannis, and, you know, defeat them, bring back the God Scraper, have that thing destroyed, whatever. So She goes off to a well, which was established earlier on as like a weird like rift in space or whatever sort of a thing, and she hops on into it, and she pops up, and it like the page. This is the one cool thing the artist does in this book. The final page, she hops into the well at the top, and the bottom, she pops up through a lake, but it's not standard orientation. It's flipped 180 degrees. So when she pops up in the lake, it's like she's at the bottom of the well, and then you have to like flip the book to see it the right way around, sort of a thing. And she's in a new realm called Elfheim. And so, Joe, I did a little bit of research into this because I was like, oh, clearly we're in a new sort of mythological realm. We're no longer in the Greek realm because she's also wearing a different outfit when she pops up out of the water. And in my research, I discovered that Elfheim is like, it's a story, or it's like mythology, more like fairy tale sort of stuff, but it's from lowland Scotland and northern England. So it's a very specific region, but it is like a different, I don't know if you want to call it pantheon, but like a different mythological realm.
That's pretty sick. Do you think this is also going to mean a new artist?
I looked ahead, and it is a new artist. I went through the stuff, so I'm like, let's go! Get fucking McDonald out of here, baby. I don't want to know your fast food bullshit. So, you know, it's fine. It's just coming off of Travis Moore's artwork from the Norse shit. It was so fucking clean and gorgeous. And there's a line in this book as well where Wonder Woman's just like, I do miss, because I think Boston compliments her current Greek outfit, which I don't like. And she's like, yeah, it's sick, but I also miss my cape from, you know, Valhalla. And I was like, yeah, so do I. But, you know, it's whatever. I'm very much, like, the art's fine. It's just, it sucks coming from such great art to such mediocre to whatever art. But hopefully the new artist will also be pretty good. I like the kind of outfit. The outfit that Diana was wearing, from what I saw, looked more like dressy, as a dress sort of a thing. So I'm interested to see how that will fare in battle. I'm putting $100 down that she at least either rips the dress in combat, like during combat, or before, like rips off the skirt so she can actually like move around or something like that. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so it was an okay issue, but it's looking up. The ending was cool, and I'm excited for where Elfheim or Elfham, I don't know how to pronounce it, will take us.
Yeah, no, it sounds pretty interesting. It was interesting to hear you being kind of like starting to get a little iffy with it, since how how hyped you were over it at the beginning. But
it was so good at the beginning.
It seems like it's starting to redeem itself a little bit. But
yeah.
Moving on from that, we got some Mr. Zdarsky that we need to talk about.
Hell yeah.
So we have Spider-Man SpiderShadow #4. This is the only comic I got this week, and we both read it. We've been reading this series, and Joe, I gotta say, this might sound, I'm gonna make the connection, but you might be a little confused at first. Have you watched the Harry Potter films?
Yes.
Have you watched the Deathly Hallows films, like both of them?
Yeah, the 7 and 8. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you remember when Ron comes back and saves Harry from the lake, and they have to destroy the locket?
Yeah, and he uses the sword of Gryffindor and just bonks it.
Yeah, but do you remember that like all this smoke came out and it was like talking, right? Talking to Ron.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, and there was this one scene where Ron sees Harry and Hermione both naked kissing each other, and they were covered in smoke. And
they were fucking.
As soon as I saw the cover for this week's Spider-Man SpiderShadow, I could not help but think of that scene in Harry Potter. Like it's too similar for me. So
it's the thumbnail of the video.
I love it. I love the cover. I think it's great. It's just something funny where I was like, I can't disconnect the two of those. So just a little tidbit of something that goes on in my mind.
All right, then.
So, man, Joe. Other thing I want to bring up visually about this book. Specifically, I mean on this first page. Joe, the background colors. Holy shit.
I don't actually remember the background colors of the first issue. Or the first page.
Oh, my goodness. There's like these good, like, turquoise and purples and pinks. Oh, the sky, it looks like an evening sky when the sun is setting. Right away on this first page, it just caught my attention. So it's just, I love it. Really, really nice background colors. And so what's happening here is, we're after issue 3. Fisk released Peter's identity, that he was Spider-Man, and now the cops are at his apartment. And Jonah's like, "Oh, God damn it, I work for the Daily whatever the fuck. They gotta listen to me." And Peter's like, "Jonah, sit the fuck down. Thank you, but sit the fuck down." And he's like, "I'm gonna go see Reed and figure this all out." And he leaves with MJ, or Spider-Man leaves with MJ to go to I forget the name. Oh, the Baxter building.
Yeah.
Yes, which is now being covered by the Venom symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
And when they finally get there, MJ and Peter have a really touching moment with each other where it's really emotional, and they kiss. And I gotta say, I really like that. That wasn't too cheesy for me. That felt right. And once they actually get to the building, it looks like, is it the Avengers, or is this just like a random group of heroes?
No, this was the Avengers at the time, I'm pretty sure. Because remember, this takes place in the way, way ancient times of the 80s.
Yeah. So now you have Spider-Man working with these other heroes, and you got Johnny, the Human Torch, is pissed at Peter, and Sue's trying to hold him back, and Peter's just trying to deal with what's happened and talking to Cap and figure it all out. But what ends up happening is Peter wanted to go into the building alone to figure this all out, but MJ follows him as well as Johnny. And he's like, "What the hell? You two are following me?" And both of them are like, "Peter, shut the fuck up. We're helping you." And when we get in there, we see that like the symbiote has pretty much taken over the whole building, and not in the sense of like it's just covering the building. Like all the workers have been like infected with the symbiote. And so now that they've been taken over, they're kind of like, what the hell? They're like, what's going on? Like, what is it doing? And MJ gets a gun, nothing sexier than MJ with a gun. And they split up. And if you've ever watched Scooby-Doo, you never split up. It just doesn't work. So they end up splitting up, and Peter runs into the mixture of Venom, or the symbiote, and the Thing, which doesn't look too different than normal the Thing.
Yeah, it just kind of looks like the Thing with red eyes.
Yeah, and a bigger smile. And they have a pretty cool fight, I gotta say, but nothing too crazy. There's a cool little scene.
There is one panel in particular that is cool, and this is something
when
that'll
all
bring
the different
up...
Peters?
Yeah, well, it's like Peter being drawn multiple times to show all the different
Movement.
punches that he's throwing at him and stuff like that. But yeah, I have some stuff to talk about the art once you're done with your recap thing. But continue, please.
Yeah, so that looks pretty cool. But I gotta say, the coolest for me is what Reed looks like with being infected by the symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
Super creepy, super kind of body horror with the long limbs and the creepy looking face and just the distorted proportions. And that I definitely like a lot more. And he ends up fighting Johnny. And something that was really interesting is that Johnny's heat isn't working because he's in this, I guess it's his space suit. And basically there's this fight between, Peter and the Thing. You got Johnny fighting symbiote Reed. But the big thing that happens at the end of the issue is all these different children of Venom they then infect all the other heroes, and Peter's like, "Oh God," he's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to fight all of them. Like they're all infected."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's got to fight all of them. Also, Mary Jane kind of drops in on the Johnny and venomized Reed Richards fight with a gun, and she just shoots him, and she's like, "Hey, I'm here too." And so I'm just like, oh, "Fuck you, fucking idiot! Why the fuck would you do that? No, run the fuck away." So yeah, Peter's got a lot on his plate at the end of this issue, and I totally see what Zdarsky was saying when he was like, "I need one more issue to really wrap up everything." I was like, I can't imagine how you were going to do this in 4 issues. Good God. But yeah, so going back to what I was saying earlier, though, about the art throughout this entire book and really throughout this entire series, it is very strange and I can see why he what should we call it? What's the guy's name? It's a weird name. It's like Fairy or something
Pascal?
like that. Yeah, Pascal. What's his last name?
Fairy.
Yeah, okay. Pascal Ferry was very much chosen for this because a lot of the symbiote stuff that he draws, like Reed Richards and the cool Venomized Spider-Man suit that we saw in the beginning of the series, all that stuff looks sick as fuck. Everything else doesn't. And I don't really know if he was the right guy for this book because so much of it just looks so fucking whack. And
I I feel indifferent about the art. I don't hate it and I don't love it. I feel indifferent about it, and to me, it doesn't give or take anything from the story. Yes, the highs of, I'd say for me, the highs of the suit and the Venom, anything that deals with Venom in this story or the symbiote is definitely drawn well. But I will say there have been a couple of times throughout these 4 issues where specifically faces, human faces that look
so
a
weird.
little- yeah,
So
especially the
fucking
eyes.
weird.
They're very bug-eyed. So I see your point, but I guess it just doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you.
Yeah, I'm very much, I love line art. Like, that's the thing that I want to do the most. I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to be a penciler and an inker. I'm going to do that sort of stuff and then coloring. I don't know shit about colors. But, like, when I see his line art, it's very, like, especially when you see Peter's beard, you can tell, like, this stuff I'm pretty sure was made digitally, like it's digitally inked and stuff like that, because that looks so similar to a pressure brush that you would use on a tablet and just go like a couple of strokes to really formulate that beard. And then again with some of the face stuff, some of the lines that are just thrown in to, like, make up the structure of your face, I'm like, this is so whack. The bodies are okay, like there's nothing whack about the bodies really that I found. And again, the exaggerated stuff that he does with Reed Richards in his Venomized suit up form is fucking great. I love that. Johnny looks good, MJ looks good body wise, and all the other heroes look pretty solid, but definitely their faces. And that kind of sucks, especially when you have a very touching scene between Peter and MJ on a rooftop before they then kiss, when it's all talking heads and you're just looking at it and you're like, I don't know about this, Chief. It's very like for me. I'm just sort of like, yeah, I could do something a little different for that, like something a little bit more. I don't know if refined is the right word, but it might just be that I'm just not a big fan of like the looser inking style. But either way, I'm just like, I don't know if it was quite right. I feel like you could have gotten someone who could have done the cool Venom stuff and then also better everything else, but that's just me. Other than that, though, the story, I'm enjoying it. It's not as impactful as some of, it's not as impactful as Life Story. Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, that was to be expected. Life Story is its own thing, and that's like, I don't even want to compare this to Life Story, because what if it's its own thing? Life Story is something completely different, and it's on a pedestal so high, I don't know if anything will touch it for another decade. Like new coming out as what I'm saying. But so I'm just like, okay, I don't want to compare this to Life Story. Get it out of there. But it's hard to when they're both by Chip Zdarsky. Anyway, the story's good. And I like how MJ, even though fucking stupid for shooting Reed Richards, a man who is literally rubberized and bullets will do nothing to him, who is also now venomized and wearing a suit, and I'm just like, why the fuck do you have to do that? But it's cool seeing her take some initiative and being like, I'm gonna run in and do this thing, and then whatever. I'm just curious to see where it's actually gonna lead to, because again, we got the venomized Avengers, and now we have MJ potentially in some serious peril, and Peter with a broken rib or two and no longer wearing a shirt. I'm just like, okay, you got a lot on your plate, man. First thing on the list, find a shirt. Then, solve your other problems.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what this final issue is like. Part of me thinks maybe Chip's gonna go down a pretty dark ending, but then some of the other stuff that's happened in this series makes me think he might go with the happy ending.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. We can't really tell, but whatever it may be, I just hope it's a satisfying one. So that's all I have to say about the At.
Well, Joe, that's it for this week. So I gotta know, what are you picking up, man? What are you getting?
Ooh, baby. So I know there are 3 books that I'm picking up next week. I'm picking up Nightwing, because that's coming out. Finally, we get to see what's going on with Dick Grayson and whatchamacallit, Zuko. Not the Avatar one, the one in the comics. And how, like, they're apparently brother and sister. I know Radiant Black is coming out. And then, crap, what's the final one? Radiant Black. And, Spider-Man Miles Morales, that was the other one. The continuation of the Clone Saga with that thing. So, Nightwing, really looking forward to. Radiant Black, really looking forward to. Miles Morales Clone Saga, hoping it gets better. How about you, Joe?
I have a good week, man. I have a very good week. We got Radiant Black number 6, which, I mean, it's Radiant Black. Come on, I've been waiting for this. We got Static Season 1 number 2. So I get to see more about Static Shock. But what I am most excited for is Moon Knight number 1, baby.
Oh shit, you are picking that up.
I saw it and I was like, "Oop, no doubt in my mind, that's mine." I'm excited. I'm pumped. Hopefully it's good. Please be good.
Yeah, I have one of my manager at work. We talk comics and stuff like that all the time, and he was saying, I've never read a Moon Knight. He's getting it because it also has the Punisher, and he's a big fan of the Punisher. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck Moon Knight is, but I'll pick up this issue just because, why not? And I was just like, interesting. So that is cool. I might pick it up just to see how issue 1 is. It's a really cool cover. The cover artist, though, is not the internals.
Cool. Such a cool cover art.
It's a very cool cover. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the internals are going to look like for that one. But yeah, so that's what we're going to pick it up next week. So with that being said, everyone, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, do all that wonderful YouTube shizness. If you are reading any comics right now, maybe drop a comment, let us know what you're reading, or if you think any of this stuff that we're talking about sounds interesting, go pick it up. They're all pretty good series that we're talking about here. And again, SpiderShadow, it's only going to be 5 issues, so that's a real easy thing to pick up either now in issues or later on in trade. But yeah, so read some comics, always good for you. And with that being said, everyone, we'll love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.